Hello everyone. People, am I audible? Disha, hi, good evening. You know where am I? Look at the background. कहाँ हूँ मैं? Yes sir, audible. Very good. हाँ. Ishita, hi, good evening. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. घूमने आया हूँ मैं, घूमने आया हूँ. ऐसा लग रहा मन ऐसा कर रहा है कि आपको भी लेके जाऊं, लेकिन क्या करूं? एग्जाम है ना आपको. Okay, once your exams are done, I'll take you to all these places. हाँ? It is very easy. Charges तो लगेगा. It is costly. हाँ. Hi Gavri, good evening. कैसे हो सब लोग? एकदम अच्छा, बढ़िया सा. हाँ. You're good? Is everything going good? So we were doing chapter 8, no? No, chapter 8. Somewhere last part of the chapter we were doing. कहाँ हूँ मैं? Concept of money. The second unit is done. No, this is pending. And we have to do the third unit. Okay. This can be finished by today. Yes, we can. Absolutely, we can, sir. Yeah. So we were discussing about the market behavior. Okay, so not market behavior. The money, supply of money. We were discussing about the supply of money. Hannah, everyone, you remember how to calculate money multiplier? पता है? How to calculate money multiplier? M is equal to, एक minute. Okay, money multiplier. M is equal to 1 by R. This is one idea. Do we have one more idea? Yes, sir. Money supply is equal to monetary base multiplied by money multiplier M. So M is equal to money supply divided by monetary base. This is one more idea. That is what we discussed. Later we discussed about the behavior of the market, behavior of the uh, behavior of the general public, behavior of the central government, and behavior of the banks, commercial banks. You remember? Okay, I'll remind you. I know that, sir. We were very busy in studying other subjects, sir. But this subject be important hai, sir. है ना? Why? Because you know that many of the students score very good in economics. ऐसा है? हाँ, ऐसा है. Not just in economics, in all the subjects. And last attempt में the students have scored wonderful marks in mathematics too. These students know, you guys know. ಪ್ರಳಯಾಂತಕರ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ. Here, listen. We discussed about, in last class, we discussed about M, money multiplier, which is 1 divided by R. You remember what is money multiplier? Money keeps on multiplying. Okay, money keeps on multiplying. There is something called as, this is nothing but money multiplier. You remember that Mr. A gave 10,000 rupees to the bank. He kept 10,000 rupees in the bank. If reserve is 10%, क्या होगा sir? The bank will keep 1,000 aside and they will give 9,000 9,000 to B. Now, what happens? B in the form of loan. This is the new loan which is created by the bank. B will pay this to Mr. C. Mr. C will keep this in the bank, and in that bank will create 10%. Bank will create 10% as the reserve. Other 8,100 will be given to Mr. D as the loan. Okay. So this loan, that is 8,100, which is given as the loan to Mr. D. Mr. D pays this to Mr. E, and E gives this to the bank, where 810 is created as the reserve. 810 is created as the reserve, and other 7,290, 7,290, that is correct, no? Yes or no? Yeah, 7,290 is given to Mr. C. ऐसा चलता जा रहा है, sir. This goes on and on and on. So like this, see what is this? 10,000 is the monetary base, MB. And later, first bank, they created 9,000. Second bank created 8,100 extra. And bank C, third bank, they created 7,290. Very sorry. Okay. Created by Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. Market A, market banks 1, bank 2, bank 3, bank 4. This keeps happening. This goes on happening again and again and again. So this reaches till infinity, sir. Now, what is the total of all these things? How to calculate that we have seen in the Excel sheet also. With the help of Excel formulas, we have found that this will lead to 1 divided by R. That is 1 by R. R is 10%, no? 1 divided by 0.1, that is equal to 10. Answer is 10. So that 10,000, that is monetary base, multiplied by 10, it will lead to 1 lakh. 1 लाख रुपए होगा सर? Yes, it will lead to 1 lakh rupees. कैसा लगा? मजा आया सर. और मैं ये मजे को सारे हिंदुस्तान को देना चाहता हूँ. हाँ. So here, this is monetary base. Okay. If we continue, the time deposit ratio, how much money is kept as time deposit compared to the demand deposit, also has an important implication for the money multiplier. One more point to discuss here is very important one, that is the time deposit to demand deposit. Time deposit to demand deposit. Now, first of all, you need to know what is the difference between time deposit and demand deposit. Not in a strict sense, but yes. Time deposit and demand deposit. So time deposit and demand deposit here. Okay. Time deposit and demand deposit. Now, can you tell me what is time deposit and what is demand deposit? Time deposit is nothing but for a fixed period of time, you are keeping that money in the bank. For a fixed period of time, you are keeping that money in the bank and you cannot withdraw that money. Withdraw nahi kar sakte, sir. It is non-withdrawable. Withdrawable, that means you can withdraw it after some time. It is time deposit which is non-withdrawable. But demand deposit is withdrawable. You can withdraw it at any time. And you know that in time deposit, interest rate is high, but in demand deposit, interest rate is less. Time deposit mein interest rate is high, for demand deposit, interest rate is less. So this is about time deposit and demand deposit. Okay, now you tell me, for bank, which is better, time deposit or demand deposit? What do you think? Fast, fast. जल्दी जल्दी से आंसर देना है मुझे. I want participation from everyone. हाँ. For bank, in the perspective of the bank, which is better, time deposit or demand deposit? कौन सा? For bank, which is good, what they like, time deposit or demand deposit? Very good. They love ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಆನ್ಸರೇ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ವಾ? No one is answering. Others, it is time deposit. It is time deposit. Why it is time deposit? For a fixed period of time. For a fixed period of time, they get this amount. No, it is not withdrawable. Anytime here and there, it is not withdrawable. So for the fixed period of time, they get this money. ये अमाउंट तो उनको मिलेगा. Government, what banks can do? Banks can keep rotating that money. Time deposit में banks can keep rotating that money. But demand deposit, always these guys, no, the banks has some doubt. What if this guy withdraws the money? What if this guy is going to withdraw the money? That's why they cannot rotate this money in that manner. So if the time deposit is more, then money multiplier is more. Why? Because the banks goes on the multiplying that, or goes on giving that to someone else, because they are very sure that the other person who has kept the deposit, no, he cannot withdraw. So that's why it is given here that hence for money stock in an economy, an increase in TD to DD ratio means that greater availability of free reserve, and consequently enlargement of the volume of multiple deposit expansion and monetary expansion. That means money multiplies. Okay. In case if there are एक minute yeah in case if there are more TD, if there is more TD to DD, then the free reserves are more. That means bank need not worry about the amount which is available, so they can use it for long period of time. And consequent enlargement of volume of the multiplier enlarges. Correct. To summarize, money multiplier approach. The size of money multiplier is determined by, एक minute, size of money multiplier is determined by what? By the required reserve ratio. Correct. Can you tell me? Reserve ratio is more, sir. Then if the reserve ratio is high, money multiplier is less. If the reserve ratio is less, money multiplier is more. Correct? No? Sir, how to calculate money multiplier? M is equal to 1 divided by R. If the reserve is 10%, 0.1, then money multiplier is 10. M is 10. If M is equal to 1 divided by R, that is 1 divided by 0.05, then it is 20. Correct. If the money reserve is less, then money multiplier is more. There is negative relation. Excess reserve ratio. If there is excess reserve, then if the excess reserve is there, that means money multiplier is less. See, what is extra? See here, required is 0.05. But you are creating 0.1, 5% extra. That means money multiplier is less. If there is excess reserve ratio, money multiplier is less. RE. And next one, commercial banks and currency ratio of the public. Currency ratio of the public. If you take out more currency from the banking system, money multiplier is less. Again, if you are taking out more money from the banking system, money multiplier is less. If you are not taking money from the banking system, then money multiplier. That means banks will get more amount to transfer or rotate, so that money multiplier is more. Okay. Okay. Lower these ratios, the larger will be the money multiplier. In other words, in all the cases, see, listen, everyone here, attention, please. Okay. First one, reserve ratio. Reserve ratio, in this case, if reserve ratio is more, money multiplier is less. If reserve ratio is less, money multiplier is more. This is clear. Negative relation between these two. Excess reserve. Excess reserve. If ER is more, then M is less. If ER is less, then M will be more. Okay. This is excess reserve ratio. Reserve ratio, excess reserve ratio. Next one, currency to deposit. Currency deposit ratio. If CD is more, if you are taking more currency, then money multiplier is less. If CD, currency to deposit ratio, is less, money multiplier is more. This is clear. All these points, very important one. If I continue, there is one more. That is time deposit to demand deposit ratio. If the time deposit is more, then okay, TD is more, money multiplier is more. TD, time deposit is less, money multiplier is less. Clear, no? If time deposit is more, money multiplier is also more. If time deposit is less, money multiplier is less. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? अच्छा, जा रहा है दिमाग में? Yes. हाँ. Okay, good. If I continue here, lower these ratios are, larger the money multiplier is. In other words, the money supply is determined by high-powered money. What is high-powered money? Nothing but monetary base. And money multiplier. Monetary base multiplied by M. Money multiplier, you will get money supply. And varies directly with the changes in the monetary base. You know this, right? Huh. This we discussed in the last class. One more. Monetary base. On that basis, if MB is more, money supply is more. If MB is less, money supply will also be less. Correct? Correct. Okay. And inversely with the currency and reserve ratio. Although these three variables do not inversely with currency to reserve. We have already discussed this. Kaha? Here. Currency. See, inversely related. No. Inversely related. Okay. Inversely with the currency and reserve ratio. Although these three variables do not completely explain the changes in the nominal money supply, nevertheless, they serve as useful device for analyzing such changes. Consequently, these variables are designed and as the proximate determinants of the nominal money supply in the economy. All these ratios put together, they will determine the money supply. We may now rewrite the money multiplier including the above variables. See, M, that is money supply, is equal to C plus D. What is C? Currency. D is deposit. High powered money, H. H is equal to C plus reserve. Correct? No, that we have seen already. Currency plus reserves. Everything put together, it is high powered money. So where C is currency and D is deposit. C and D, deposit, which are assumed to be demand deposit. D is nothing but demand deposit here, not time deposit. We summarize the behavior of the public bank and central bank by three variables, namely currency deposit ratio, CD, reserve ratio, reserve divided by debt, deposit, and stock of high powered money, which is H. Rewriting the equation 1 and 2. If you rewrite this, what do you get? M is equal to C plus 1 multiplied by D. क्या है ये? C plus 1 multiplied by D. Listen to me. Mathematics. Okay. You know that I am very good in maths. Yes or no? Everyone, you know that I am very good in maths. So if I understood this maths, then definitely you are pro in maths. Yes, sir. Disha says, yes, sir. We know that you are very good in maths. Huh. So now see, M is equal to C plus D, no? M is equal to C plus D. M is equal to C plus D. Wait. What is C? What is C here? Listen. C is written here, no? Small c, what is small c? Currency ratio is equal to total currency divided by deposit. Listen, everyone here, 100% attention here. Don't go here and there. Conceptually, I'm explaining you. I'm explaining you with the help of conceptual clarity. Okay, here. What is currency ratio? क्या है currency ratio? What is the meaning of currency ratio? The currency which is taken out from the total deposit. The ratio of currency taken out from the total deposit. That is currency ratio. I can say that total currency taken out from your deposit. Example, I had 20,000 in my bank account. That is my deposit. From that deposit, I have taken 5,000 outside. So how much currency came outside? 5,000 divided by total deposit is 20,000. 5,000 divided by 20,000. So which is nothing but 0.25. So this is currency ratio. 25% of the deposit is going out as the currency. This is currency ratio. Again, 25% of the deposit is going out. That is currency ratio. So we denote it as small c. Small c is equal to capital C divided by D. Everyone, small c is equal to capital C divided by D. Then what is capital C? Capital C is equal to small c multiplied by D. I have taken this side. I took it that side. So capital C is equal to small c multiplied by D. Can I say that C is equal to CD? Small c it is. Small c is currency ratio. Big C is big C is currency taken out. Okay. Okay. Now this you have to remember. Big C is equal to small c multiplied by D. What is given in first equation? Capital M is equal to C plus D. Okay. Capital M is equal to capital C plus capital D. Do I know what is capital C? Yes. What is that? Small c D plus D. if I take out common outside in this, common outside, what is common? D is common. So that C plus 1, small c plus 1 multiplied by D. Yes or no? Small c plus 1 multiplied by D, that is given here. Small c plus 1 multiplied by D. Correct. Correct. Correct, sir. Okay. Now, can you solve this? What is reserve? Reserve ratio. R, small r. I mean, not reserve ratio, nahi, reserve. They are asking reserve, nothing but R. What is R? See, reserve ratio is equal to total reserve out of debt. Sorry, deposit. Listen to me. I'll give you the hint. You have to answer. Here. Monetary base, MB. Monetary base, no? They're asking MB. H, nothing but high powered money. Correct. Monetary base is equal to currency, capital C plus capital R, not small r, capital R. Do we know what is capital C? Yes, sir. Just to now we calculated, no, capital C here. So that is small c, capital D plus. Now what is R? You tell me, what is small r? Reserve ratio. Small r is reserve ratio. That is total reserve. You are keeping some reserve, no? Total reserve. If bank is getting, example, 10 lakh rupees as the deposit, in that they are taking, example, 50,000 outside as the reserve. They will keep 50,000 as the reserve. Other 9 lakh 50,000, they'll use it for giving loan. Other 9 lakh 50,000, they'll give it as for loan. Now, 50,000 divided by 10 lakhs. What is 50,000? Reserve. They are keeping reserve, no? Divided by 10 lakh. What is 10 lakh? Deposit. 50,000 divided by 10 lakhs. Answer क्या है, sir? 1 by 20. Nothing but 0.5. Oh, no. Yeah. 5% no. 0.5. It is 0.5. Correct. It is 0.05. 10 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 lakh, 50,000. 0.5 or 0.05. You know that I'm good in maths. 0.05. Yeah, it is 0.05. That's nothing but 5%. If I write 0.5, it is 50%. Yeah, you are right. 5% is 0.05. 0.05. So how did we calculate this 0.05? 50,000, that is reserve, capital R, divided by 10 lakh, that is deposit, capital D. So small r is equal to R divided by D, capital R divided by deposit. So now, how to calculate capital R? Nothing but small r multiplied by D. Yes. So what is R here? We just calculated now, which is R multiplied by D. Now, if I take common outside, it is C plus R multiplied by D. Correct. C plus R multiplied by D. That is given here. C plus R multiplied by D. Correct na? Yes or no? Okay. Now here, high powered money. Okay. Listen. Listen. What is M? What is M? Small m. There are two ideas to calculate this. 1 divided by R or money supply divided by monetary base. Money supply divided by monetary base. Correct? No? So, what is this? M. Nothing but money supply. Currency plus deposit. That is money supply. And H is high powered money. Correct? H is high powered money, which we have calculated here. This is money supply. कहाँ गया? यहाँ. This is money supply. M. Money supply. And this is monetary base. Money supply and monetary base. Okay. C plus 1 multiplied by D. Money supply is C plus 1 multiplied by D divided by C plus R multiplied by D. D gets cancelled. So C plus 1 divided by C plus R. Okay. Correct. So that is what given here. C plus 1 divided by C plus R. So that is what we have calculated. C plus 1 divided by C plus R. Yes, yes. Okay. So this is one point here. Sir, what if there is excess reserve? How to calculate excess reserve? Excess reserve again. ER divided by D. E is equal to excess reserve divided by deposit. So we calculate E is equal to capital E divided by D, nothing but capital E is equal to E multiplied by D. So where do we add excess deposit? Here. In this case, plus E. So monetary base is equal to MB is equal to C plus R plus E. So what is C? Small c D plus R D plus E D. Everywhere common is D, no? C plus R plus E D. I'll take D outside. This is monetary base. Okay, now what we will write here? C plus R plus ED. DD get cancelled. So answer is C plus 1. C plus 1 divided by C plus R plus E. 1 plus C divided by R plus E plus C. Moye moye. No, sorry. Money supply it is. I read it as moye moye. Huh. Okay. Shall I explain again once again? Shall I explain once again? One last time. Okay, for my satisfaction. Ready? No one is interested. C plus D, C plus R. Huh. Yes, sir. Okay. Money supply is equal to currency plus deposit. Correct. No, we use currency and deposit for doing any transactions. Same way, monetary base with the government or RBI, they have C plus R, currency plus reserve. Now, basically, first thing that we need to know, what we need to understand first. First, we have to know three things. Three things here. Number one, that is what is currency ratio? What is currency ratio? Small c. That is nothing but total currency taken out. Okay, wait. This is capital C, not small c. Small c is equal to currency ratio is equal to capital C divided by D. Capital C divided by D. Okay. Now I have to find out what is capital C. Capital C is equal to small c multiplied by D. So answer capital C is equal to small c D. Currency ratio multiplied by deposit. This is clear. Point number one. And we need to know, and we know that reserve ratio is equal to total reserve divided by deposit. So reserve is equal to R multiplied by D. Reserve ratio multiplied by deposit. This also we know now. These two things, we know it, right? Okay, one more. One more. C हुआ, R हुआ. Next one, क्या बचा है? E. Excess reserve. Excess reserve is equal to excess reserve ratio is equal to excess reserve divided by deposit. So capital E is equal to E multiplied by D. E by D. I mean E multiplied by D. Now, do we know what is M? Small m calculate करने के लिए we know that small m calculate करने के लिए we have two methods. One divided by R or ms multiplied by m, I mean divided by mb. Do we know this? Yes. Now we will take this into consideration here. Money supply, we know this. Okay. ms is equal to capital C, I just found here. I'll use it. Capital C, that is CD plus deposit. Plus deposit. If I take common outside, that is C plus 1 D. So this is money supply. Sir, what is monetary base now? MB is equal to C plus R. No. What is capital C? C D plus R. R D. R is here. No. We have already calculated R. That I am using here. Now C plus R D. So this is point number one. This is point number two. Now calculate m. Small m is equal to C plus 1 multiplied by D divided by C plus R multiplied by D. D gets cancelled. So finally, C plus 1 divided by C plus R. This is money multiplier. This is how we calculated money multiplier. C plus 1 divided by C plus R, where there is no excess reserve. See, C plus 1 divided by C plus R. There is no excess reserve. What if there is excess reserve, sir? What if there is excess reserve? So this will get C plus R plus E hoga. Itna hi. Only that is the change. C plus R plus E here. So that now this will change. This will change. Kya hoga isme? You have to add one more thing. That is plus ED. If you do that, this will also change now. C plus R plus E common D. That outside. That I took outside. C plus R plus E D. D get cancelled. So that finally C plus R plus E. इतु सही है ना? C plus 1 divided by C plus R plus E. यहाँ C plus 1 divided by C plus R plus E. So thus money supply is. So there is something wrong here. MS is equal to M into H. M into MB. Monetary base multiplied by money supply, money multiplier. So money multiplier is a function of the currency ratio set by the depositor, which is C, which depends on the behavior of the public. Public wants to take out more money from the deposit, then money multiplier will be less. Excess reserve ratio also. If excess reserve ratio is more by the commercial bank, then money multiplier is less. And the required reserve ratio set by the central bank. If R required reserve ratio is more, then money multiplier will be less. A simple example will be explained here. Numerical illustration. R is 10%, sir, which is 0.1. Currency is 400 million. Currency is billion. And deposit is 800 billion. Excess reserve is 800 million. So excess reserve is 0.8 billion hoga, which is 800 million. Money supply is M. Currency plus deposit 1200 billion. Okay. So based on all these informations, you have to find out the money multiplier M, which is very easy one. Why? Because see, it is given here. M is equal to 1 plus C. C is already here. 0.5 divided by R. Small r is kahan hai small r? Okay, we will calculate. This is excess reserve. Here, small r is given, no? 0.10 plus E. Excess reserve is also given 0.8. Oh, wait. It's not 0.8. It is 0.001. Why? Because 0.8 billion divided by 800 billion. So which will be 0.001 plus. And lastly, C. C is already there, which is 0.5. 1.5 divided by 0.1 plus 0.001 plus 0.5 is equal to 0.601. So the answer is 1.5 divided by 0.601. It is 2.49 or 2.50. Answer is 2.50. Am I wrong? Correct. 2.4958. Nothing but 2.50. Somewhere approximately it is 2.50. 50। इजी है ना बच्चों? I'll give you 2 minutes. हाँ, I'll give you 2 minutes. Go through this once, and I'll be back. Okay? I'll get some water. Welcome back. अच्छा, एक मिनट. I just keep my iPad for charging. चलो. The last unit of this chapter, monetary policies. Government will do some monetary policy just to maintain the money sector. So introduction, we observe that the Reserve Bank of India is occasionally manipulating the policy rates. Which rates? CRR, might be SLR, might be any rates, bank rates, like this, for maneuvering the liquidity conditions with the reasons thereof explicitly notified. Explicitly, they'll tell why they are changing the rates. Okay, this we know. In fact, we have only a limited understanding of the monetary phenomena which could strengthen or paralyze the domestic economy. What we have the understanding now is very limited one. The discussion that follows is an attempt to throw the light. So what we discuss now, here onwards, it is just an attempt to throw the light uh, on well acknowledged monetary measures undertaken by the governments to fight economic instability. We will just try to fight about with the economic instability now. Chalo. Monetary policy defined. First, we will understand what is the meaning of monetary policy. Okay. Who will do this monetary policy? First of all, it is done by the Reserve Bank of India. Why it is done? See, this is who who uses this monetary policy, that is Reserve Bank of India. Why it is done? To manage the economic fluctuations and achieve the price stability. What is their main goal? See, who will do this? RBI. And why, sir? Why? Because fluctuations, to stabilize fluctuations and achieve price stability. Fluctuations and achieve price stability, which means that inflation is low and stable. There should not be high inflation, it should be low and stable. Okay. So who will conduct this? The monetary policy is RBI. So how they do this? By adjusting the supply of money, usually through buying or selling of securities in the open market. Open market means they will purchase the securities which are there with the bank and they will sell the securities to the bank. Open market operation affects short-term interest rates, which in turn influence the long-term rates and economic activity. So finally, what is their main agenda? To to give some effect to the economic activity. When central bank lowers the interest rate, monetary policy is easing. That means if they are reducing the interest rate, then that means the monetary policy are easing. Easy monetary policy, that means the people, the general public will get more money. Example, now commercial banks are giving some amount to RBI in the form of interest. Some amount is given by commercial banks to RBI in the form of interest. If this interest rate is reduced, that means commercial bank has more money now. Earlier, for example, they paid 1000 crore as the interest. This time they are paying only 800 crores as the interest. That means 200 crore is left with them so that they can give this to the general public. That means they are easing the monetary supply. When it raises the interest rate, monetary policy is tightening. This we need to know. So monetary policy framework. What is the framework? How it acts, how it works. The central bank, in its execution of the monetary policy, functions within an articulated monetary policy framework which has three basic components. So there are three basic components of the monetary policies. What you need to remember here, three components are there. First one, the objective of monetary policy. They will just tell you what are their objectives of monetary policy, and analytics of the monetary policy with focus on the transmission mechanism. See, a new policy has been introduced. So from old policy to new policy, they have to do some transmission. So this is there. And The operating procedure which focuses on the operating targets and instruments. Operating procedures are also there. It targets on the, it will set some targets. Targets. इतना changes होना चाहिए and इतना increase तो होना चाहिए. So first we will discuss first one, that is objective. Second one is transmission mechanism. Third one is targets. First we will discuss objective of the monetary policy. The objectives set for monetary policy are important because they provide explicit guidance to the policymakers. Now, objective, anything. You want to become chartered accountant. What is your objective? Making money? Okay. Getting knowledge? Okay. Earning reputation? Okay. Anything it can be. Okay, so that is their objective. The monetary policy of a country is in fact a reflection of its economic policy, and therefore the objective of monetary policy generally coincide with the overall objective of economic policy. So what is the objective of monetary policy that coincide with economic policy? Finally, what we are dealing with in monetary policy, what we are dealing with in monetary policy, the main deals which we do is to see that the financial conditions in the economy is proper. If financial condition is proper, economy as a whole, it is good. It's going good. Okay. So this is the objective. Continued. The Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 in its preamble sets out the objective of the bank as to regulate the issue of the banknotes and keeping of the reserves with a view to securing the monetary stability in India and generally to operate the currency and credit system of the country to its advantage. So these are some of the preamble. Preamble mein the RBI Act ka preamble mein it is giving. So first thing is regulating the notes, bank notes, nothing but currency notes. First work is currency notes and keeping reserve with a view to securing the monetary stability. So they will keep some reserve, and whenever there is more inflation, they will take money from the market. If there is deflation, from this reserve, they give the money to the market. Okay, 2 points. Fundamentally, okay, later, generally to operate the currency and credit system. So they will operate the credit system. They will make sure that people don't get more credit, or they will not get, they will get the credit, proper credit, not more. More credit bhi nahi, less credit bhi nahi. Fundamentally, the primary objective of monetary policy has been the maintenance of judicious balance between the price stability and economic growth. There should be growth, but price should also be stable. Sir, if the price increases, nominal income, national income increases, but not real GDP, no. Nominal GDP increases, but real GDP won't increase. Correct. So, given the development needs of the developing countries, the monetary policy of such countries also incorporate explicit objectives. What are the explicit objectives? First one, economic growth. They have to maintain one economic growth. No? Secondly, so the credit, ensure that proper credit is getting flowed for, see, giving a proper credit flow. That means it's not giving reckless credit. That means without any proper judgment, they are not giving the credit. Proper flow means giving credit to those who are in the need of. Okay. Same way, sustaining a moderate structure of interest rate to encourage investments. Interest rate. Interest rate should also be sustained and to encourage the investments, and creation of an efficient market for the government securities. Creation of an efficient market, okay, for government securities. So government is also selling securities. Why government sells the security? Just to increase the, see, the government sells the security so that they get the money. They take the money from the market so that there is no inflation. Inflation get reduced. Or they will give the money by purchasing the security. They purchase the security back, purchase it back, and they give the money. ये क्या है अब? What is this now? This is nothing but the, what do I say? The deflation ka time. During deflation, they try to increase uh, the activity, economic activity. So considerations of financial and exchange rate stability have assumed greater importance in India recently on account of the increasing openness of the economy and the progressive economic and financial sector reform. So basically, why we do this monetary policy for sectoral reforms to encourage progressive economic and financial sector reforms. This is the first pillar of monetary policy, that is objective. The next one is transmission of monetary policy. I told you what is transmission. We will discuss about this here. Okay, wait. Yeah. The transmission of monetary policy describes how changes made by the Reserve Bank to its monetary policy settings flow through to economic activity and inflation. So that means that transmission will describe the changes which is made, changes which is done in the policy, no, which is by Reserve Bank of India with the help of this monetary policy settings. So how that changes flow through the economy, to the economy, how that how that changes will flow to the economy, that is given. This is called as transmission phase. Very difficult phase it is, because many a time the stakeholders will not agree to this. Stakeholders in the sense the interest, those who are getting affected. Why? Because very difficult phase it is. Okay. And why this happens? Because we are not sure. We are not sure that whether we will succeed or not. There are some uncertainty also. This is difficult one. This is complex. At the same time, this is uncertainty. Okay, it is uncertain. I am not sure whether I get the required result or not. So that some adverse effect will be there on the economy. In simple terms, the transmission can be summarized into two stages. There are two stages here. Changes to monetary policy affect the interest rate in the economy. If the interest rate getting affected, almost whole economy will get affected. So that is given. Changes to the interest rate affect the economic activity and inflation. First, it will affect the interest rate. That interest rate getting affected, then definitely the whole economy is getting affected. Although we know that monetary policy does influence the output and inflation, we are not certain about how exactly. We know that it will affect our output, but how exactly, what is the magnitude, that we don't know. So because the effect of such policy are visible often after a time lag. Some time lag will be there. After that we can see that. Until then we cannot. Okay. Next one, channels of monetary policy transmission. We are in the same point. Transmission of monetary policy. Okay. What are the channels? Savings and investment channel. Okay. So what monetary policy does, they will change the interest rate. If the interest rate changes, they will change the interest rate. If interest rate changes, savings also changes. At the same time, the loan which is taken by the employers, no, that will also change. It will influence the whole economic activity. You save more, then investment can be done. If you cannot save, then investment cannot be done. Okay. So here, monetary policy influences the economic activity by changing the incentives for savings and investment. What is the incentive for saving and investment? It is interest rate. It is interest rate. That is the main incentive for savings and investment. This channel typically affects the consumption, housing investment, and business investment. Consumption. See, if the interest rate is more, then do you think I will consume more? No. Opportunity cost. I don't consume more. Instead, I will save more. Housing investment, or that means investment in my personal life. Business investment on the business. So if the interest rate is more, then investment on the business is also difficult. Why? Because we have to take loan. On that loan, we have to pay more. Because zyada hi pay karna padega. That's why. Next, lower the interest rate on bank. We have discussed already about this. See, bank deposit reduces the incentive for the household. must save their money. Instead, they increase the incentive for the household to spend their money. If interest rate is less, their spending will be high. Lower the interest rate for loan. That can encourage the household to borrow more. So that will encourage you to borrow more. Correct. Now, loan interest rate on loan reduces, borrow more. If that borrowing is more, then the investment in the business is also high. Because of this, lower lending rate supports the higher demand for the assets such as housing. Lower lending rates. Lending rates can increase the investment spending by the business also. That will increase the household investment anyhow increases, consumption anyhow increases. Spending by the business, investment spending by the business, that also increases. This means that return on these projects are now more likely to be higher than the cost of borrowings. So borrowing cost is more. Sorry, borrowing cost is less. But with the help of that borrowing, I will invest on the business. My return on investment is more. For example, I take the loan at 8% and I will invest in the business. This investment gives me 12% return. 12% return, 8% is, see, obviously 4% is my profit now. I took the loan at 8%. I did put it in my business. I invested in my business. I got 12% return. 12 minus 8, 4%. Okay. Helping to justify going ahead with the projects. So cash flow channel. Cash flow channel. Monetary policy influences interest rates, which affects the decision of the household and businesses by changing the amount of cash they have they have available to spend on the goods and services. This is cash flow channels, changing the cash flow. So if you get more cash, you can spend more so that inflation happens. Demand will increase. If you don't have cash, you have to spend less. Correct? Same way, a reduction in the lending rates. Lending rate reduces, that means that gives more money to the people. Cash flow increases. Interest on debt, increasing the amount of cash available for the household and the business. This that induce them to spend more on the goods and services. At the same time, reduction in the interest rate reduces the amount of income that household and business get. See, interest rate reduces, then I will not save more. Why I will not save more? Why I don't save more? Because interest rate is less. If interest rate is less, that means my income is also less. If my income is less, that is going to affect my business. No, a business in the sense my income, personal income. So these two effects work in opposite directions. But a reduction in interest rate can be expected to increase the spending in the Indian economy through this channel. Interest rate reduces, that will increase the loan which is taken by the businessmen. They will also spend, and interest rate reduces. So I don't save more, I start spending. That will also increase the demand. Asset prices and wealth channel. Next one, very interesting one. Asset price and people's wealth influence how much they can borrow and how much they spend in the economy. Okay. The asset price and wealth channel typically affects the consumption and investment. So if your wealth is more, your return on that wealth is also high. If your return on wealth is high, then that leads to more income, more spending. No. Same way, lower interest rate supports the asset prices. How? Interest rate is less, that means more loan can be taken. If they take more loan, then they will invest in capital assets. No, assets में invest करेंगे, such as housing and equities, by encouraging demand for the assets. Loan interest reduces, that means I take more loan, that means I invest on these kind of things, and I earn more income. Next one, higher asset prices also increases the equity of an asset that is available for the banks to lend against. So higher asset prices. Okay. Higher asset prices also increase the equity, that is collateral, of an asset that is available for the banks to lend against. Now example, think that I have one land. मेरे पास एक land है sir. I purchased it for 50 lakhs. Now the asset price has increased to 80 lakhs. That means collateral is available for 80 lakhs. If this is 80 lakhs, then definitely it will help me in taking the loan to the extent of 72 lakhs. 90% of the loan is available. Earlier, I was getting 45 lakhs ka loan because value was less. Now, because of increase in the asset price, the value also increased and I'll get more loan here. This can make it easier for the household and business to borrow. If they have any asset, keep it as mortgage and take the loan. Yes. Lastly, an increase in the asset price increases people's wealth. Increases people's wealth also, correct? People's wealth also will get increased. This can lead to higher consumption and housing investment as household generally spend how much? Some share of their increase in their wealth. So if the wealth increases, example, I had 100 shares of SBI. Think, I had 100 shares of SBI. Now, no, not required. You know what is the price of gold today? How many of you know what is the price of gold today? Right now, what is the price? Those who have watched my earlier video, earlier classes, you know, I told you soon the price of gold goes to 6,500. Today, the price of gold is 6,460. 6,460. Exact 4 months back, 4 to 5 months back, it was 5,300. Do you believe this? No, not 6 months back. Uh, 7 to 8 months back. 7 to 8 months back, it was by or last year. By this time, it was 5,300. Now it is 6,460. Mark my words, within 2 months, 1 or 2 months, it will go to 6,800. It might reach 7,000 also. Yeah, it will reach 7,000 also. My target, correct. My target, I have put a target by looking at the commodities price. No, I have put a target. The target I have right now, within 2 weeks, the price has to reach, the price of gold has to reach 6,800 within 2 weeks. I think so. And if you see, no, previous data, to give you previous data, exactly 3 or 4 days back, it was 6,200 somewhere. एक minute. Okay, here. Wait. I just keep a track of it. On Saturday, last Saturday, it was 6,275. 28th of March, not 28th of March, wait. Yeah, somewhere 18th of March. 18th of March, it was 6,000. 6,000, yeah, somewhere 18th of March. It crossed 6,000 on which day, you know? It crossed 6,000 on 7th March. 7th March, it crossed 6,000. So day it is 4th of April, 6,500. 6,500. Tomorrow it might reach 6,500. So that means within 1 month, 500 extra, 500 divided by 6,000 multiplied by 100, 8.33%. Within 1 month, it is 8% extra. ज़्यादा हो गया है. Okay. So mark my words, within my target is within 2 weeks, it has to reach 6,800. Okay. Within 2 weeks. It might come down also. So it might come down also. I'm not telling that it is exactly this will happen. I don't say that. Sir, if you ask me, sir, are you very much sure? No, I am not. I am not. But so far, my prediction has gone little right. Okay. So far, my prediction has gone little right. So I can give you some hint. It will go to 6,800. Okay. People, एक second. I'll be back. Yes. I'm so sorry. Huh. Okay. I was just looking at the market वाला ये picture देख रहा था मैं. I think, yeah, within 2 weeks it will go to 6,800. Continue. Exchange rate channel. Next one, that is exchange rate channel. The exchange rate can have an important influence on the economic activity and inflation. Economic activity and inflation. A good hand. How, sir? Because if there is a good what? If there is a good exchange rate, then definitely it will lead to a high inflation. Inflation to hoga. Correct. It is typically more important for the sectors that are export oriented or exposed to competition from imported goods and services. From imported goods and services, because they are the exchange rate, no, that exchange rate will fluctuate their profit. Their profit ko ye fluctuate karega. That's why if the Reserve Bank lowers the cash rate CRR, it means that interest rate in India have fallen compared with the interest rate in the rest of the world. When you compare it to the rest of the world, all else being equal, so cash rate has fallen. That means interest rate in India have fallen. lower interest rate reduces the return investor earn from the assets in India. Correct? If they are investing in India, then their assets is not giving any return to them. Lower returns reduces the demand for the assets in India. Finally, with the investor shifting their funds to the foreign assets. That's why interest rate should be more. A reduction in the interest rate compared with the rest of the world results in a lower exchange rate, making foreign goods and services more expensive compared with those produced in India. This leads to an increase in the exports and domestic activity. Obviously, which is known fact, no? Lower exchange rate, that means foreign goods are more expensive now. Lower exchange rate, more expensive compared with those produced in India. This leads to an increase in the exports and domestic activity. Correct. So it will lead to an export, increase in the export. Lower exchange rate also adds to inflation because imports become more expensive in Indian rupees. Imports will become more expensive in Indian rupees. Exchange rate also adds to inflation. So that is the opposite action. It is an opposite action which is compared to the point number 3. Continued. Okay. OMO. एक minute. Some last part here. OMO, that is open market operation. In order to control, in order to control money supply, the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, buys and sells government securities in the open market. Why, sir? RBI buys and sells government securities in the open market. What is this buying and selling securities in the open market? That means if the banks has more money, they will lend more money. If they lend more money, what they do? That means they are increasing the money supply in the market. So the government wants to reduce that money supply in the market so that they ask them to do the open market operation. So RBI will do the open market operation. With this open market operation, they sell the securities and they take the money. They sell the securities and they will take the money from the market. They sell securities and they take money from the market so that money supply will reduce. These operations conducted by the central bank in the open market are referred to as open market operations. So now, what are these qualitative tools? There are quantitative tools and qualitative tools. First, we will discuss about qualitative tools. Many of the quantitative tools that you know, example CRR, SLR, these are quantitative tools. Now, qualitative tools. Unlike quantitative tools, which have a direct effect. Wait, do we have quantitative tools here? Hurry. In your book, you are finding that quantitative tools. It got skipped here. Wait. Oh, it is here. I'm so sorry. I don't know how I skipped it. Huh. It is here. First, operating procedures and instruments. Operating procedures and instruments. Quantitative tools. First, we will discuss about quantitative tools. So the tools applied by the policy that impact money supply in the entire economy, including sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, automobile, housing, etc. So that is the tool applied by the policy that impact money supply in all the economic sectors. So that is quantitative tools. Remember, quantitative tools will affect all the sectors. First one in that reserve ratio. Banks are required to keep aside a set percentage of the cash reserve or RBI approved assets. So they have to keep some amount as the reserve. What are these reserve ratios? Two types. One is CRR, the other one is SLR. We already know this CRR and SLR. Cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. The commercial banks know they have to keep some amount aside. So it can be CRR or SLR. Now, what is it can not? It can be both. Both should be there. CRR should be there. SLR both should be there. So CRR, what is CRR? Some asset. Now, example ICICI Bank. Think that ICICI Bank. They have to now the government of India, RBI, they say that they have to keep 5% of their total deposit. Example, think their total deposit is 2 lakh crores all over India. Their total deposit is 2 lakh crores. 5% of 2 lakh crore, which is 1000 crores. No, 10,000 crores. They have to keep 10,000 crores in the RBI. With the RBI, they have to keep 10,000 crores. That is CRR. So banks are required to set aside this portion in cash with the RBI. With the RBI, they have to keep it with the RBI, such as the bank. The bank can neither lend it to anyone nor can it earn any interest rate or profit on CRR. Now, the commercial banks, they are keeping some amount with the RBI. RBI will not lend it to anyone. At the same time, they cannot give any interest on this amount. Anyone, nor can it earn any interest rate or profit on CRR. Statutory liquidity ratio. The banks are required to set aside this portion in liquid assets such as gold or RBI approved securities, such as government securities. Some amount they have to keep in liquid assets with themselves. So banks are allowed to earn interest on these securities. However, it is very low. Usually on these securities, no, the interest will be low. Statutory liquidity readily convertible into, this should be readily convertible into cash at any time. Okay. Next. What are qualitative tools, sir? We discussed about quantitative, now qualitative tools. So which has direct effect on entire economy's money supply. Qualitative tools are selective tools that have an effect in the money supply of a specific sector of the economy, which has the effect on money supply for specific sector. It can be, example, the primary sector, secondary sector, or tertiary sector, like this. So in that, first one is margin requirements. Okay, sir, what is this margin requirement? Let me explain that. Now, you want, example, you have one business, you are applying for one business, you want 20 lakh rupees loan. 20 kitna? 20 lakh rupiya. You want 20 lakh rupees loan. If you ask bank for 20 lakh rupees loan, do you think you will get loan for 20 lakhs, entire 20 lakhs? No, no. At least 25% should be yours. That means 5 lakhs should be yours. Other 15 lakhs you can ask for loan. That is margin requirement. Entire amount is not given by bank as the loan. You have to keep at least 25% is your stake. At least 25% is your stake. Other 75% is the stake of Bank will give you the money. This is called as margin requirement. RBI prescribes a certain margin against the collateral, which in turn impacts the borrowing habit of the customers. When the margin requirements are raised by RBI, customers will be able to borrow less. Customers will be able to borrow less here. Why? Because see, 5 lakhs is, see, if entire 20 lakhs is given by the bank, then what is my money? Where is my money? I don't have money. If there is loss, bank, I'm so sorry, there is loss. This is your loss. Take care of. Correct? No, at least 5 lakhs you have to put. Other 15 lakhs will be given by the government. Next one, moral caution. By way of persuasion, RBI convinces the bank to keep money in the government securities rather than certain sector. Don't give money to certain sector, rather give that to the government securities. We will give you interest. Next one, selective credit control. Controlling the credit by not lending to the selective industries or speculative business. Example, I am in share business. Think, I'm in shares business. I want to earn shares, sir. I'm selling shares and I'm purchasing shares. That is speculative. No, this is speculative. That's why to these guys, they are not required. They are not supposed to give the loan. Next one, market stabilization scheme or policy rates. Market stabilization scheme. We have bank rate here. First one, the interest rate at which RBI lends long-term loan funds to the banks is referred to as bank rate. Remember what is bank rate? The rate at which the bank RBI gives loan, lends loan funds to the bank is referred to as bank rate. However, presently, RBI does not entirely control the money supply via bank rate. It uses liquidity adjustment facility, LAF, repo rate as one of the significant tools to establish control over money supply. LAF, one of the important idea to control over the money supply. The bank rate is used to prescribe penalty to the bank if it does not maintain the SLR and CRR. Nowadays, it is not giving loan on the base of bank rate. Bank rate is nowadays used for calculating penalty to the bank if they don't maintain CRR and SLR. One important point here. And LAF. Sir, what is LAF? Sir, you told LAF here, no? What is this LAF? See, RBI is having some instruments. There are many instruments with the RBI. What they do, if there is more liquidity in the market, they want to reduce the liquidity. If there is more liquidity in the market, they want to reduce. If there is less liquidity, then they want to increase this. How they do this? With the help of two rates that is called as repo rate and reverse repo rate. These two are liquidity adjustment facilities, LAF, repo and reverse repo rate. Sir, what is repo rate? See, repo rate is the rate at which banks borrow from RBI. Banks will borrow from RBI. Earlier it was called as bank rate. Now it is repo rate. Banks will borrow from RBI and at rate at which the interest is paid by bank to the RBI, that is called as repo rate on short-term basis against a repurchase agreement. Under this policy, the banks are required to provide government securities as collateral and later buy them back after a predefined period. The banks will give the collateral. What they give? Government securities as the collateral. So why this is mainly because to reduce the liquidity in the market. There shouldn't be more liquidity in the market. That is the main reason. Next one, reverse repo rate. It is the reverse of repo rate. That means RBI will take loan from the banks and RBI pays to the bank in order to keep additional fund in RBI. To keep additional funds in RBI, RBI will take loan. So this is reverse repo rate. Okay. So the organization structure for last point in our this chapter. So once this is done, the chapter will get over. The organizational structure for monetary policy decisions. We have discussed about the instruments of monetary policy, repo rate, reverse repo rate, SLR, CRR, like this. We have seen moral caution, qualitative also. An understanding of the organizational structure for policy, monetary policy decision is necessary to understand the way monetary policy is conducted in India. First, organizational structure is also required. Very small concept it is. Nothing much, detailed one, but some importance is given. Okay. So we have RBI Act 1934 and they have done some framework, policy framework. So we call it as Monetary Policy Framework Agreement. Okay. So who will do this agreement? There is something called as MPC, Monetary Policy Committee. So this uh, agreement is set up by MPC. Okay. Now this framework uh, is okay. The monetary policy not framework, it is framework agreement is an agreement reached between the government of India and Reserve Bank of India. So it is signed between the government of India and RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So that is, they said that what is the maximum inflation rate which can be there in India. So they will set it and they always try to achieve that level. It should not go beyond, it should not be less. So that is agreement. See, maximum tolerable inflation rate that RBI should target to achieve price stability. The amended RBI Act 2016 provides for a statutory basis for implementation of the flexible, it is not flexible, flexible inflation. It is inflation, not inflation. Inflation targeting framework. Correct. So this, they always look for what? They look for the rate, the achieve the price stability, which is somewhere at the moderate level. It should not be very high, it should not be very less. Finally, the announcement of an official target range for inflation is known as inflation targeting. So they target one inflation. See, sir, should there be inflation in the market? Yes, there is required. Inflation is required because everything grows. Everything is growing nowadays. So that price is also increases. Price will also increase. Um, I'll tell you why. Population is increasing, no? If population increases, then obviously the money, monetary base will also increase. Otherwise, how they transact? How to transact in India? A country like India, where the population is 140 plus crores, each one, if they have 1,000 in their pocket, each one, what if they have 1,000 in their pocket? It will be 1,40,000 crores. The amount of money which should be there in the market. More than that, we will have more in lakhs. If it is 1 lakh, everyone they have 1 lakh, 140 crore lakhs. That is the money, no? And if monetary base increases, population increases, then everyone should have some money in their pocket. So if population increases, monetary base also increases. If monetary base increases, then money supply also increases, no? Hi, Anna. So if monetary supply increases, demand also increases. Money supply increases, demand also increases. Demand increases, inflation has to be there. Inflation must be there, but not beyond the tolerable level. But not beyond the tolerable level. That's why we will target one what price? We will target the price level. The expert committee under Arjit Patel to revise the monetary policy framework in its report in January 2014 suggested that RBI abandon the multiple indicator approach and make inflation targeting the primary objective of its monetary policy. Targeting the inflation, that is their primary objective. The inflation target is to be set by the government of India in consultation with Reserve Bank once in every 5 years. So they have to set it once in every 5 years. So accordingly, The central government has noticed 4% consumer price index CPI. In detail, you will study in this next level. Inter may you will study about CPI, especially in CII, that is in your taxation, cost inflation index. So inflation, the target for the period from August 5, 2016 to March 31st, 21, 5 years. The upper tolerance limit was 6% and lower is 2%. It can increase by 6% or lower by 2%. That is standard deviation. Standard deviation. It is standard deviation. Not beyond that, not beyond this level and not below this level. Okay. RBI is mandated to publish a monetary policy report every 6 months explaining the sources of the inflation and forecast of the inflation for the coming period of 6 to 18 months. So what they were doing? So they have given a target of inflation. They have to see that what is their targeted inflation and what is the source of inflation and what might happen in the future, that they have to say. And following factors are notified by the central government as constituting a failure to achieve the inflation target. To achieve that inflation target, there are some factors which is making them to fail this. The average inflation is more than the upper tolerance level of the inflation target for 3 consecutive quarters. For 3 consecutive quarters, the inflation is more than upper tolerance level. One failure. Second one, the average inflation. The average inflation is less than the lower tolerance level for any 3 consecutive quarters. So these are the signals that tolerance level is not, it is not, reached. So it should not be for 3 quarters. If it is less than 2% here, if it is less than where kaha gaya 6% and 2%, this is lower, this is upper. For 3 quarters, if it is more than 6%, or for 3 quarters it is less than 2%, then all these are some of the issues. Okay. The choice of CPI was made because it closely reflects the cost of living and has larger influence on inflation expectations compared to other anchors. Compared to other anchors, it has highest reliability. With this step, the India is following the countries such as New Zealand, USA, UK, European Union, the Brazil. In recent times, many countries are moving away from the approach and are targeting nominal GDP growth. So CPI, they are not taking CPI, but we have taken the approach of US, UK, Europe like this. We have taken CPI, but it is not required that it should be CPI. It can be GDP, nominal GDP growth also fine. That was about our chapter here. We are done with almost 4 chapters. One chapter is pending. I might require extra 4 hours to this. We will keep that in one stretch. What is next chapter? That is Indian economy. Yes. So next chapter, chapter number 10, that is about Indian economy. There are many things to discuss here. I mean, not exactly discussing. So chapter 10, I'll tell you the speciality of chapter 10. This is Indian economy. And in Indian economy, for the first, it will describe what has happened in the past. And later, what is current affairs. So what is happening in India right now. So that they are explaining, not right now, exactly now, but it is till the some cutoff date. So what has happened? Okay. So this is something which is there we have to study in Indian economy, and the speciality is it is completely current affairs and explanation. If you are expecting much of explanation from my side, I'm so sorry. Explanation will not be there. Why? Because there is nothing to explain here. In this, there is very less things to explain. but I'll try my level best. What is there to explain what you need to know, that I will explain. But many a thing, it is a memory part. So you have to memorize the things. So what I'll do, all these pages, no, which I've taken from your study material. So I'll try to confine this down to some slides, and we will discuss about this in next 4 hours in the next class. Okay, hardly somewhere 4 hours, that is enough. And more to explain, it will get boring it is. So what is exactly required for our examination point of view, we will discuss about that. Okay, somewhere 4 hours I want, not more than that. Okay, I'll assure you. So we will meet in the next class and we will discuss kya hai isme. Okay, if you have any doubts you can ask me now. Zoom chat is open. People already left, is it? Oi. So Snehal is here, Nishita is here, Disha is here, Anjali is here. Huh. If you don't have any doubts, and the live, those who are live on YouTube, you can ask me the doubts. Okay. Put it in the comment box. Put it in the comment box. Those who are watching it recorded, put it in the comment box. Okay. Yes, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope. Wait. Is there any doubts? No. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet in the next class. Until then, keep studying, keep growing. Love you all. 1 minute. Yeah. Love you all. Boy. Jai Sri Ram. Ram Ram.